This is the Woke Socialist Podcast. On July 8th at 6:25 p.m., this man died. As you can see, he dons the United States Marine Corps uniform. Can you see him? He was my brother. Because white and black Democrats in Congress think it is okay to allow Donald Trump to take away veterans benefits and call centers for them in crisis through Doge. This man, and I want you to look at his picture. He has a name. It's Kelton D. Valier Andrews. After he graduated from Frederick Douglass High School in the state of Maryland, he thought it best to bring honor to our family, our indigenous, black, white, and Latino family, to serve his country. Even though his country never loved him back. I'll tell you his story, but I would like you to do a favor for him, Kelton D. Valier Andrews, and make this the greatest statement against fascism in the United States right now. We would like all our supporters in Canada, across every country, in every state in the United States of America to understand the threat that we are under. Please like and subscribe to this video. And before I die, because I'm considered a domestic terrorist for posting this picture of this man that died, because I opposed Donald Trump and fascism in America. We want everyone to say, "Not my son. Not my son." Hashtag not my son. These people are not only, and both parties, funding ICE, doging veterans, and forcing everyone who looks like this, black, white, Latino, or otherwise, who served in the United States military before Donald Trump, to die in darkness. This is how he died. My brother went to Camp Lejeune, and he contracted an illness. He had seizures after that. And then still faked it because he looked like me. He didn't have white privilege. He didn't have generational wealth. He didn't have somebody to pay his college education. So once he got out of the United States Marine Corps, he moved on to the United States Army. And he got even sicker and more poisoned. And lo and behold, as black and brown and red America always is, they shipped him home. Honorable discharge. With nothing more. So he moved to Jacksonville, Florida. Got okay with being in a wheelchair. 5, 6, 7 seizures a day. Until he got his medicine finally. That medicine was cut off. That support was cut off. From the Democrats and Republicans that promised that every United States veteran was going to get care. Even if they didn't serve in a foreign war. But we have all these veterans. Jolly Ginger and others who have served. And every time a budget in October is presented to our elected officials, veterans are left out. Joe Biden's son died because they believed in this country. Every person that served believed in this country. But let me give you a wake-up call. Let me hip you on the black experience. Now you know that this country that you love never loved you back. Every single solitary. Biden administration, Obama administration, and as a matter of fact, every administration before that, to protect veterans against abuse, homelessness, lack of health care, lack of critical care, lack of medical care in an emergency situation has been removed by both Democrats and Republicans in the United States Senate, in the House of Representatives. Why? Because it is more important to defend Israel than the people you elected to make sure that people who served this country gets a good burial. Now, we took up a crowd fund for my brothers. But what are the rest of you going to do? And let me ask you this. While you don't have time to continue to listen to this podcast? What did America ever do for you that you didn't take from somebody else? And I'm going to be clear. I am going to be very clear because I am very angry. My brother is no longer here. As a result of that, I am compelled to fight against the injustice that he endured during his life as a veteran. And my biggest enemy is going to be you. If you have a problem with this. Yeah, I said it. If you are a Maga right now and you hate blacks and you hate Democrats and you want to own the libs and all this stuff, that's cool. If you're a Patriot Front or whatever the fuck they're called, that's cool. I am fully prepared intellectually, strategically, and violently ready to meet you where you are. And that's what we need to do as Democrats. Meet these motherfuckers where they are. Because I am so sick and tired of this. This does not wash off. I can't wake up tomorrow and be a Democrat or a Republican or all that. You know what? That does not work. Let me ask you a question. I'm Native American, Latino, black and white. During the 1960s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, do you remember Native American powwows? And every time there was a powwow, back then, there was these like motorcycle gangs coming up there thinking they can declare themselves badasses because they went to a Native American powwow and were accepted. What the actual fuck? Now let me ask Native Americans. Okay, what the fuck were you doing, Piscataways? By saying, oh, I remember that. Okay, I grew up in the 1980s. When a Lakota like me was a little bit too dark for a Piscataway. And then I remember people like William Little Ghost being brought there to the Piscataway Nation. And Art Woolsey to Sweat Lodge. I have gathered more fucking rocks out of the Potomac River to put in the sweat lodges of Piscataway Indians that were too fucking lazy to go down there and do it themselves. And then they had the audacity to recruit Latino Americans who had no understanding of Native American cultures. And anybody who was further to the white to boost up their senses among the Piscataway Nation. Yes, I said it. I lived it. I survived it. Not only that, the Yazis of the Navajo Nation, when anybody wants to question my fucking validity, were iron workers out here in Washington, D.C. So I go to a sweat lodge with them that they think is going to be all inclusive. And boy, did I get fucked with 10 Ways to Sunday. Because they spoke Navajo. And they gave credence because that's what white people need. And people with white proximity need is validation. They spoke Navajo in a sweat lodge. And as a female, I didn't think it was proper to speak. So, because there were these standards put on me that the Navajo didn't know about me cutting off my circulation among these so-called Cherokee Piscataway women, I fainted in the fucking sweat lodge. And I was dragged out because I was medically fucked up, even though I had survived many an Aztec 100 rock sweat, from which I bought the rocks out of the Potomac River during the 1990s when they were holding the Sundance down in Tayak territory. I did that. This is how people roll when they can't roll with the big dogs. So here is what Anthony Yazzie and Pete Yazzie, who has jewelry in the Museum of the American Indian, told me. The sweat lodge is for everyone. But no, that's not how it works in America. And I tell you what doesn't work in America right now is black, brown, and red people who do not conscribe to electable Democrats. Let me get back to the bikers. Every single powwow I went to before the resurgence of the American movement here in Maryland, there were all these bikers coming up there being badasses, and dumbly enough, Native American women getting on the back of it. Get the fuck out of here. All right? You have no idea. You cannot wash it off. It is not a one-day deal. And I'm going to say that to the Piscataways, the Jews in America, the blacks in America, and everybody else who thinks this cannot wash off. If you think you pass, you are the antithesis of patriots. If you think it's okay to kill somebody because it's not you, I get it. I get it. I lived through it. Let me tell you something about the Buffalo Soldiers. After the Civil War, Buffalo Soldiers were recruited, freed black slaves, to go around and kill my other people, Native Americans, so that you could have white expansion and manifest destiny. And some of these black Buffalo Soldiers didn't marry Indians at that time because they related. They married white people so they could assimilate. And this is exactly what black people in the Democratic Party are doing right now. You are folding for the plantation so that you can have white proximity. That is what that is. So your ancestors killed my ancestors. And I get it. As long as they're not killing me, it's okay. We're off the hook. Black people have never been off the hook. No matter what you do, how many military operations you serve in, or classes of society you belong to, or governorships you see and own, or Supreme Court justice seats that you sit in, you will never be the equivalent of a white person so long as you put your quest for supremacy over your own people above patriotism. You will never be a citizen of this nation so long as you misrepresent members of your society by doing exactly what you are fucking doing now. You are absolutely that white redneck at the powwow. That's what you are. You are the buffalo soldier hanging blacks and starting up Jim Crow because of their manifest destiny. They have never served you. Never. This does not wash off. And the sooner you understand that, the better off you'll be. Now I'll say this too. The next victims, and it is already underway, is a two-party target for genocide. Let me tell you who they are. You wouldn't believe this. Remember all those educated veterans and soldiers that got doged? The FBI, the CIA, because they did not agree with Donald Trump. Remember all those veterans that lost their benefits? Like my brother? Remember them? I know it's so long ago. Because people don't have the attention span of 5 minutes. If this doesn't prove it to you, I don't know what does. Donald Trump right now is on his golf course, while Americans are starving on ships with inadequate food and dying in Iran on American bases and other places. This is what you are too foolhardy to understand. You are paying for his tax dollars. And not only that, remember those buffalo soldiers? Remember those white bikers going over to the powwow trying to be badass for the day? Let me tell you who the new buffalo soldiers are. The entire Democratic Party. When we allowed multiracial immigrants to come to this country, they did it with the knowledge that if you get close to the white man, you will succeed. This is the dawning of the age of that thing. you have Native Americans, APAC members in Alaska, who right now, still, Democratic Socialists are rooting for. What the fuck are you doing, Hassan Piker? What the fuck? But I'm going to get away from that because maybe you didn't get a little bit of time to do your research about who is taking APAC money. But I digress. I have been here longer than you, and I have been a socialist longer than it was popular to be a socialist. Now let me say this about the new Buffalo Soldiers. If you think for 1 minute that you are immune from this type of attack against you or your family, you are sorely mistaken. Veterans are the new target of two-party genocide. People who no longer serve in the United States military right now, as we speak, that served our country, are being called domestic terrorists. And I mean people like, and I don't know where he's been at. Okay, the woke farmer. Jolly Good Ginger. These are people that served many moons before you even thought about getting your lazy fucking ass on the street and being angry about anything. Served to protect your rights. And you're okay for vote blue no matter who? Because some old dried up geezer told you that's what you needed to do. You're really that fucking stupid? This is worse than I thought. At any rate, they've already lost their benefits. Years before it was getting whittled away at. But if you are a United States veteran of any war, of any generation, and you think this is okay, and you have done nothing less than get the fuck out on the streets of every city and every state of the United States of America and protest against this, you are not an American. You are not a patriot. If you are Stephen Miller, Marco Rubio, or anybody who continues to threaten us and say that you are going to attack us and jail us and defund us and disable all our abilities to survive as free Americans in the United States of America, that your fucking asses were not here to participate in before my indigenous and black people, you got another thing coming. You have a fight on your hands. Now I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to do like Ginger and call a thing a thing. This is a thing. Now, all of you motherfuckers have crossed the line. Every last one of you, including Democrats in Congress and Senate. You can wait for your election so it can be rigged again, like since 2016, like John Lewis said. You can wait for all your fucking court appearances and lawsuits and all that shit. But this shit for me doesn't wash off. I don't have the luxury of waiting. So I'm going to tell you this right now. If I'm walking through an airport and some random motherfuckers come up to me and they don't show me a badge, show me a warrant, and tell me why I am being detained, I can guarantee you it will go viral, it will go national, and it will go international. The game is up. And not only that, I have the constitutional right to defend myself against domestic enemies, and I will. I will. And there will be tens of thousands of millions of motherfuckers who are going to do the same thing. If you don't understand by now the threat you are under, you never will. And I don't have the time to deal with it. I don't have the capital to watch out for me while I watch out for you. This doesn't come off. As an American who looks like this, I have no obligation to you or this government as it stands right now. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. I am not here to compel you to do jack shit. You exist in this country because other people did. That stops this day. It's every man for himself and God for us all. Have the fucking day you deserve. This is the Woke Socialist Podcast. Good luck with that.